Welcome back to my channel. My name is Omalade Adeyemi. I remain your fashion teacher and also your pattern drafter. Today's training is going to be how to cut and sew a A-shaped skirt. This is the skirt I'm putting on. This is the front. This is the way the front is. It's a A-shaped skirt and A-shape also at the back. So this is the back. So this is the back. And this is the way they look at the bum part. So that is the training we are going to do today. This training is sectioned into 4 chapters. We are going to train you on how to draft the A-shaped skirt. You already know how to take the measurements. We are going to train you how to draft the pattern, how to cut the pattern, and how to cut it out on fabric, then how to sew the skirt. And our days of training, which we are going to give you new topics, is going to fall on Monday and Tuesday, while our flashback is going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then our live chat is going to fall on weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like us, share this training, comment. We want your observations. We need you to comment on the comment section. That is very important. Ask your question. Stay tuned to this channel. Welcome back. I still remain your fashion teacher, Omalade Adeyemi, the CEO of Larichi Designs. Today's teaching is going to be A-shaped skirt sewing. So today we are going to create, today's lesson is going to be how to sew our A-shaped skirts. So we've drafted the skirt already. So this is the back pattern and this is the front pattern. So I've removed my pins on the patterns. So this is for the front. I'm setting this aside, and this is the lining for the front and the Ankara fabric I'm using for the back. And this is the back pattern. I've removed the pin. I'm removing the pin and setting it aside. This is the lining for the back piece, and this is the Ankara for the back piece. So the first thing I'm going to do before sewing anything, before taking it to my machine, is to notch out my darts. Notch out my darts. Sorry, I still have to return the back piece to my pattern. So hold on please. Let me turn it properly. So the next thing is to place the pattern on your fabric to point out where our darts will be. So this is it. Now when we were adding allowance, we added 1 inch here and 1 inch here. And this is where our darts will fall. So before you remove the pins, please notch your dart out first. Mark out your darts first before you remove the pins, so that you won't be like trying to guess where it will fall. So this is the first line, the second line, the third line. So I've notched the dart. Then I'm going to measure the length of my dart. Since I have ½ inch for the upper part, so I'm going to measure the length, including the ½ inch. I'm going to add this ½ inch to the length I have on the pattern. So what I have here is 10 and half. So I have 10 and half for the length of the dart. So I can now set the pattern aside. Then I will notch the darts. I'm going to notch the 3 lines. So the first one, second line, and this is the third line. So that's the third line. So I've notched the darts. So if it does not reflect on the other side, you need to make sure it does reflect. So let me notch it very well, because I'm not seeing it on the last lining. So that is that about the dart. So let's go to our sewing machine. So the next thing, like I said earlier, is to pick the darts. So we're going to pick our darts now. So you're going to pick the darts of the ankara separately, the darts of the lining separately. So, and what we measured for the length of our darts is 10.5. That is including the ½ inch for the upper parts. So now I'm going to pick my fabric, the back piece. So I'm going to fold it into two like this. Look at the way I'm doing it. Fold it into two like this. Like this. I folded it into two like this. So I'll measure the length of the dart. This is 10.5. This is my chalk beside me. I'll measure the length of the dart, which is 10.5. So I'll mark 10.5. Then you lock your stitch. You lock the stitch at the beginning, then you continue sewing. So you cut the thread this way, not close to the edge of the dart, but you leave a little distance, like ½ inch. Then you cut. So put it at the beginning. So this is the result. This is the outcome. So you do the same thing to every part of the back piece, both the lining and the ankara. So after folding the fabric into two, the next thing is to measure the length. Now start. I'll lock up the stitch at the beginning and keep sewing. This is the other side of the ankara. The next part is the lining. As for the lining, you make sure your sewing is facing each other like this. When you pick this one first, the second one should be like this. Like I said in my previous lesson, that the sewing has to face each other this way. Like the result of your sewing has to face each other this way, like this. So the first one, I'm picking it like this, then I'm going to fold it into two equally. Like this. Place it on my machine and measure the length of the darts. So now measure the length of the darts I want to sew. So the length is 10.5. This is 10.5. I'm marked 10.5 here. So let's keep sewing. That's the first batch of our lining. This is it. This is the outcome. This is it. So we have the other side. Like I said, it has to face each other. So this is the zip side, as you can see. This is the zip side. And this is also the zip side of those parts also. So this other piece. So look at the way I'm going to pick the other darts. So I'll pick this one this way. I'm going to pick this one this way. I'm going to pick this other part this way. Like this. I'm turning it to my side so that my sewing will be convenient. So measure the length of the dart, which is 10.5. So that's all about the dart picking. So the next thing we are going to do is to join the sides, or to join the zip side of our mirror. So the next thing we are going to do is to measure the length of our zip. The other training I did, I used 7.5 for the length of my zip, but now I think I need to increase the length of my zip because of where I place my skirts, and yes, because of where I place my skirts, where the hip is. So I need a little ease. I need it to be ease, to ease me a little, so that it won't be so tight on my body. So what I need to measure here. I'm going to measure 9.5 for my length, for the length of my zip here. So from that 9.5, I'm going to sew 1 inch all through, following this shape. You know, we added 1 inch for our zip allowance. So from this 9.5 now, I'm going to measure 1 inch, starting from the 9.5 points. So 1 inch. So please make sure you measure your 1 inch, starting from the beginning. So you measure your 1 inch from that 1.5 point, from that 9.5 point, then you sew your 1 inch down to the length of your skirt. So let's get to you lock up the space from the beginning, then you keep sewing. Keep sewing 1 inch. So then you cut your thread at the end of your stitches. So after picking the 1 inch allowance for the back, this is it. This is my zip length. This is the outcome. This is the outcome. That it is. This is the outcome. You can see the two sides are equal. You can see. So the next thing, we are going to do the same thing to the lining. So we are going to hold the two linings together like this and measure our zip length, which is 9.5. I'm going to use 9.5. I'm going to use 9.5. So from here, I'll mark my 1 inch for the zip allowance. So like this. Then take it to the machine and fix in. Then I start sewing. So I'll measure my 1 inch all through the length of, all through the back piece. So I'll have a straight line. So lock up the stitches from there, then continue sewing. So you lock it at the end of the stitch. That's the output. So the next thing is to fix my zip. But before I move on with the zip fixing, I have to increase the length of my zip. And I'll make it 11 instead of 9.5 because I have a longer zip to use. Like I said, where I place my skirt is I place my skirt around here. So I don't want it to inconvenience me while pulling it, because since I place my skirt here and I have my hip here, so I want to make the zip I want to make that part to be free while pulling it, so that it won't worn out my zip. That's the reason why I'm using the longer zip. So now we have to fix our zip. But the first thing before I fix my zip, so that you won't be going off the 1-inch strap, is to mark your 1 inch down. Come here, mark your 1 inch from the top. So the next thing is to start sewing. You need to sew at the back of the teeth. So be careful with that sewing. I fix in my needle here and place down my machine. Then keep sewing. Not every stitch at the beginning. Then you sew easy. You go gently. Just keep going gently. Don't rush it. You don't need to rush. You don't need to rush it. If the pain is disturbing you, when you get there, you remove it. At each point, you can remove the pain. And you lock up your stitches at the end before the threads. You can now remove the pain on this side to start the other side. So start the other end. So you're going to start this end like this. Make sure you pin it down. And make sure this two ends is equal. Make sure this band here, this material, and the one on the other side is equal. Make sure it's equal and it's on that 1 inch. Pin this part down. You can turn it here so that you'll be looking you'll be seeing the mark very clearly. So this is it. This is it. You get where you pin it down. Pin it down. Then you start sewing. You start this way. So you fix in your needle. You lock up your stitch at the beginning and you keep sewing very gently and close to the teeth. So make sure you cut your threads and remove the pins. So let's see the outcome. So this is the outcome of our zip. So that's all about the zip. After fixing the zip, this is the zip. I'm showing you it. So the next thing is to sew the lining with the joint with the ankara. So you're going to take the lining, the down part of the lining, and the down part of the ankara like this. You're going to hold it two together and sew it down by ½ inch all through. ½ inch all through the down part. You're going to sew it by ½ inch all through this down part. ½ inch all through. ½ inch all through. ½ inch all through. Let's get started. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. ½ inch. I know where my ½ inch is, but for you, you need to mark your ½ inch. So let's get to work. Using your ½ inch and sew. You need to open this part out. Open it up. Open it up. Open this part also, the lining. Open it up also like this. Then you keep sewing. Keep sewing. Sewing. So this is the outcome. This is it. So how it will look. This is it. This is it. So the next thing is to do the same thing for the front piece. So the next thing is to sew the down part of the front. So this is down part of the lining and this is down part of the fabric facing each other. So let's sew it down by ½ inch, the same way we did for the back piece. So let's get started. Let's continue with our work. So you come here, you lock the stitch up, lock the stitches up at the beginning, then you continue sewing by ½ inch. So you sew it down by 1/2 inch. So this is it. And I'll cut the thread and take it to my ironing table and iron it out. And iron it out by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to iron the Ankara down by 1/2 inch. It's going to come down by 1/2 inch like this. So I'm going to iron it all through the down part by just finished sewing. I'll do the same thing for the front and the same thing for the back. This is the outcome of the ironing. This is what I did. So this is the outcome. This is how it's going. This is how it's going. This is how it's going. That's the outcome. So it will make the length of the lining now balance up with the length of the Ankara. You know, when we're drafting, when we're cutting the lining, we chopped off 1 inch out of the length of the lining. So by ironing it, as in by doing this, it will make the lining, the length of the lining balance up with the length of the Ankara. So that's the real effect of the ironing. So the next thing I'm going to do is to join the sides. I'm going to join the sides by 1 inch. I'm going to join the sides of the front and back piece together. I'm going to start with the Ankara. So let's get to work. I'm going to hold the side of the Ankara together with the side of the front together with the side of the back. So you hold the two sides together like this. This is the sides. So you're going to sew this side down with 1 inch all through to the lining also. So let's get to work. You're going to come here, measure your 1 inch. You measure the 1 inch. You start sewing. So keep sewing. 1 inch allowance. You know, when we were drafting, when we were cutting the Ankara, we added 1 inch allowance to the Ankara, so that's the 1 inch we're taking. You make sure this down part, you make sure these points facing each other. These points, just join in here. Make sure they're facing each other. Ankara is facing Ankara and the lining is facing the lining. So you extend your sewing to the lining also. You keep sewing it by 1 inch. Since what we added to the Ankara is still the same thing as what we added to the lining. So whatever you did to the Ankara, you repeat it on the lining. So let's keep moving. Hold on, please hold on. In case you don't know, we have an online fashion institute. We are going to teach you full pattern drafting training. We are going to take you from the scratch, how to use your machine, to the climax. You're going to be the best designers in town. For more information, visit our website on www.larichedesigns.com. So I'm done with this side. I've locked up my stage, so I have to continue with the other side. So I'm going to hold this other side also by 1 inch. So we are almost done. So let me measure 1 inch. Let's keep sewing. So let's keep sewing by 1 inch. So I'm going to measure the 5 inches on the lining on this side to turn up to turn it out. So from here I measured 5 inch from here out, from here to this point, from this point to this point I measured 5 inch. So I'm going to continue my 1 inch from there. So I'm going to continue my 1 inch from that point. The essence is to turn it out. You know, what we do is conceal sewing, so we don't want any of our stitches to show outside. So we conceal everything. So the next thing we'll do to conceal this part of the seam. This part of the seam. To make it be like this. To make it be like this at the end of the day. Make it be like this at the end of the day. Is to come in through the 5 inch we've opened here. We come in through that part and pick the lining and the fabric together at this point, at the zip point. Bring it out. Bring it out together and sew it down till it covers these points. remove our zip. So we are going to do it like this. So take it to your machine, to my machine. I'm bringing it to my machine and sew it down. It will be close to the teeth. I mean, close to the initial stitches that I have there already. If not on that same stitch, but at least should be close to that part. Let's get to work. So keep sewing till it gets to the point till it moves to this point. I want it to cover up this zip part. I think I'm there already, so I'll lock up my stitch and cut off the thread here. So this is the outcome. This is how it looks. This is how it's going to look. So we want to do the other side of the zip. To do the other side, we're still going to go in through that part and come to the other side here. Dip your hand to the other side and bring out the lining and the zip together. Bring it out together. And turn it where you will feel comfortable to. So you take it to the machine and sew exactly at the back of that stitch. So let's get started. Lock up your stitch from the beginning. So then you bring it out on that part. So this is it. So this is it. This is the outcome. This is how it looks. This is it. So the second to the last thing we are going to do is to sew the band, to sew the edge, this band, sew it down, sew it in by ½ inch along. So what we added at the upper part is ½ inch, so we need to sew it down. So how to do that is to go in through the same 5 inches opening and turn it out this way. And sew it all through like this by ½ inch. Sew it all through this way. Like this, it gets to the point. Sew it down by ½ inch. So let's get to work. Let's get to work. So you come to the machine and start sewing. Don't forget ½ inch. That's 0.5. So let's keep sewing. ½ inch. Don't forget, it's ½ inch. that's all. So the last but not the least, what you're going to do now is to turn it out first before completing your mission on this A-shaped skirts, A-shaped long skirts, A-shaped long skirts. Let me try and maintain it. I like to make sure. Sorry, I'm turning it out. So the last but not the least thing you're going to do is either you use hemming gum to gum this part down by that 1 inch we 1 inch seam allowance we left there. So, or you lock it up neatly this way. Let me teach you that method. That's the same method I used in the previous class. So let me teach you the method. Come here. Make sure you fold it up neatly. Come here. Drop down the needle. Drop your machine and sew it in neatly. Very neat. Very neat. So that's the end of this training. The last thing I'm going to do is to take it to my ironing table and iron it out. So this is our issue. Look at it, very neat, concealed sewing. You won't see any sewing stitches outside. Very neat, very neat out. Let's turn it out. Look at it. It's very beautiful. I'm going to iron it out now and put it on for you to see the outcome. Thanks for watching every of our videos. We would like you to subscribe. Please, we need you to subscribe to this channel. Share, like, and don't forget to comment on the comment sections. We need your comments, we need your observations, we need you to ask questions on each topics of our videos.